If you can't handle this little speed bump over here, you're not ready for that 20,000 square foot house. And that's all I see it as. I'm just like, life just checking, hey man, how bad you want it? Because if you want it, you must be able to handle this.
Right.
Because the problems that come with that are much fucking bigger. Yo, what's happening, gents? Welcome back to another episode of the Battle Ready Show. Joined again with my good friend Leighton.
What
Leighton,
up?
What's up, my man?
What's cracking?
Hey, listen, today I wanted to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I want abs, but I also want donuts.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you've been there.
You gotta have to pick.
Like, you want a nice house. We were just talking about this before we hit record.
Yeah.
You want a really nice house.
Yeah.
But you also want some other shit that's kind of distracting you from getting that house.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you differentiate giving up what you want now versus what you want most?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of people really struggle with this concept. I'm very happy to bleed from the eyes every day for the next fucking 5 years if I had to get to where I want to go. Like, I'm very okay with that sacrifice. But a lot of people couldn't even say no to a donut if it was right here. But they want abs.
Right. Yeah.
So how, because you're a successful guy. You're a father, husband, multiple business owner, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So how have you managed to do that? How have you overcome some of the stuff that a lot of people are struggling with every single day?
Yeah, it really comes down to the goal has to be bigger than this temporary thing you want right now.
Right.
And a lot of times people's goals fall right flat on their face because it wasn't big enough or it wasn't the real goal. They kind of just told themselves, like, for example, if I said I wanted a big house because I wanted to design it, whatever, how I wanted to, and I didn't really mean that, then I really wouldn't do what it takes to get there. I would just be saying that, but it wouldn't mean anything because I would just be saying it to be like, oh, I think I need a house. Like, a big house means successful.
Right.
No, it's because I like that. I'm into that. I like interior design. I like all that stuff, whatever. That's my thing. But if I was just saying it just to be like, oh, big house, like freaking Wes Watson we were talking about, that's just cool, then it wouldn't work because it takes so much work to get there. You're not just going to, it's not an accident that he just popped up over there.
Right.
Yeah.
But you believe, I also think there's an element of belief that's involved there too, where you actually can see yourself in a very big house. So it's a shit ton more reasonable for you to go, well, that's inevitable. Like, my goals, I say this all the time, I'm like, it's already happened, time just hasn't caught up yet. If I say something, I mean it's going to happen, and time is just now catching up.
Right.
So I already believe that it's over and done with and taken care of, and it's just like, sweet. So I think you're in a very similar position there too, where you're like, I'm not thinking that maybe one day I'm going to end up in a nice house. It's like, it's already done.
Right.
I've already achieved that. It's over for me.
Right.
And now it's just like time is just letting its thing play out.
Exactly. And like you said, you got to have long-term vision too. Like, this is not something that's going to happen overnight. Whatever your goal is. Like, I mean, obviously depending on the size of the goal, determines how long it's going to take to get there most times. But you have to have long-term vision of like, okay, if I'm trying to get here, let's reverse engineer and see how I can get there the fastest or the most efficient, whatever. Yeah. And for me, I had a bunch of changes I needed to make in order to get to where I want to get to. I'm still not even close, but it's like, you got to start making changes now. And so you can have that positive compounding effect to actually get you up and over that line. One of the ones was getting in better shape. You know, if I want to be perceived a certain way when I walk in a room, you got to get in better shape.
Agreed.
So that's a process. That's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take consistent hard work, dedication. Forgiving my dad. You know, I'm not going to get too into detail about that, but he was in prison from when I was 10 months old to when I was 24. So there was all this time of him, or excuse me, 24, whatever it was. But regardless, it was over 20 years of him being gone. So there was a lot of healing from that. But I told myself, I'm trying to get to a certain level of success. I can't have any baggage. So I made sure, I was like, hey, let's have this healing conversation that might get painful and bring up some stuff. I might have to tell you some painful truths, whatever, about, you know, how I feel about you right now. But we're going to get past that because I have a bigger goal in mind, and I can't have that baggage. If I have that chip on my shoulder, like, I freaking hate my dad, whatever. I don't have time for that. So there's a lot of different things, man. You gotta heal yourself in different ways. You gotta work harder than you've ever worked, and then you still might not make it. You gotta do even more. So all that being said, you got to do all that just to get to your goal, man. You said you want it, so the universe is basically throwing it at you like, okay, let's see how bad you want it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Are you okay with overcoming these challenges to get there?
Right.
If not, then you don't deserve it. That's literally like, I think we think very similar when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. So the universe is just throwing me another thing to fucking handle. Sweet. It's just seeing how bad I want this.
Exactly.
Because if I can't handle this, how could I possibly handle the fact that I have a fucking 20,000 square foot house? Like there's a lot of stress that comes with that. Everyone sees it as this big, oh, it's easy living. You just have this big fucking house. Do you know how much money it costs to upkeep that size house?
Right.
And the grounds that it's on? Like you're going to have some pretty big dick energy to fucking handle that shit. 100%. If you can't handle this little speed bump over here, you're not ready for that 20,000 square foot house. And that's all I see it as. I'm just like life just checking, hey man, how bad you want it? Because if you want it, you must be able to handle this.
Right.
Because the problems that come with that are much fucking bigger.
Right. So what happens when you wake up in the morning and you just are not motivated? Because that happens very often. It doesn't matter. Like people might see you on social media and think, dude, Byron's always dialed in. He never misses. He's always posting. It doesn't matter. He has a new message every day. How did you come up with all this stuff? Like people see you and they might see you as, nobody's perfect, but they might see you as an individual that's like perfect in that way where it's like he never misses. He's always working out. Every morning I can count on it. Selfie in the mirror at the gym. But you're not always motivated though. It's not always you. So what are you doing in those kind of places where you're like, dude, I don't feel like getting up right now?
Exactly the same thing as kind of what you talked about. It's like, hey man, it doesn't matter what I want right now. I want comfort and security and I want this all now, but I want that life more. I want the life that I dream my kids to have more. And that's one of the things that I had to tie to too, because when it was about me, it's easy to quit on me. I've quit on me so many fucking times. I've told you this, like when I first started trying to lose weight, I quit on me every day for like 18 months.
Yeah.
So to quit on me is easy, but to quit on my fucking wife or my kids, I'm not going to be that guy. There's no fucking way I'm going to be that guy. So I made it bigger than me. Now it's like, hey Byron, if you don't get up and you don't do the shit you need to do today, maybe your family has to suffer for another year before you get that life you want to live, because you couldn't be fucked for just one day. Really? You couldn't just get your ass out of bed and move it today, and you're prepared to make them suffer for another year to live the life that you want for them? Like, I'm really unrealistic when it comes to like the internal dialogue that goes along. But that's, I think, where you have to get to, where you're like, dude, if I don't do this, maybe my daughter will never go to private school. If I don't wake up today and do what the fuck I have to do, I might never be financially secure enough to put her through private school. Just because one day of the week I couldn't be fucked and I wasn't motivated. Like, at that point, it's not about motivation anymore. At that point, it's the discipline, the consistency. You're driven by something different. It's not, I mean, maybe it is a little bit external because you're thinking about other people, not just yourself. But there's a huge internal drive, because at the same time, I could go, well, does she need private school? Not really.
Right.
Government school's pretty good here. It's not amazing, but it's not shit. Fuck it. So for me, it's not even a question anymore. It's like, it's already happened. Time just hasn't caught up, and I just have to prove to time that it's worth it now. And through me, it has to be those consistent actions every day.
Yeah.
Simple.
Another thing too, I think people need to be brutally honest about is why they want some of the things that they want, like some of the goals that they want, not the donuts and all that stuff. That's easy. It tastes good, obviously.
Right.
But as far as like, again, wanting a house, wanting the car, wanting whatever, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting those things just to be like, I just want to be the man. I just want to be able to do it, just to say that I accomplished it, and to just be that person in the 1%. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I know there's a lot of times it's kind of looked down upon because it's like, well, you should only be doing it for yourself. And it's like, well, you kind of are, but you're kind of not, because it's still, you want the perception that you're looked at as a certain way, like you're a certain kind of person. But I'm like, listen, man, if that gets you there and you feel like, and you're being a good person, like obviously you're treating people with respect, you're being, you know, good to people, you're treating your family the way you should and protecting them, providing for them, I don't see anything wrong with it. But
it's the same thing about, like, if you say to someone, I want to have abs, they're like, why? For what? Who you trying to flex on?
Yes, that's true. It's not for yourself, actually.
It's for me.
Yeah.
I want to look in the mirror and go, that motherfucker is a stud.
Yeah.
I respect the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Because if I can't do that and that's not the energy I give out, in what world could you respect me if I don't even respect me? If I hate me and I don't want to even be me, how could you possibly look and be like, that's a cool dude? Like the energy I give off just doesn't allow it. And I know this for a fact because I've been that guy. Where literally, I think I put it on Instagram a while back where I was like, I had this internal dialogue where I was like, the poor fat foreign kid. And that was the energy I was giving out. And I was like, well, of course Leighton won't like me because I'm the fucking fat foreign kid. It's like, you didn't know I was foreign until I fucking told you. But if I give off that energy straight away, you're like, damn, dude, I don't know. There's something about that Byron guy, just like, it's weird. Versus like me now, I'm like, fuck, bro, I like who I am.
Right.
I like how I feel. I like the fact that I got fucking abs. If you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like it, but I like me. And I'm going to give off the energy that I like me, which makes more people like me in general. And then the same thing happens like with your goals and stuff like that. If I don't truly believe that the shit that I want to achieve is possible, I'm going to give off that energy. And I honestly believe that the universe functions on energy. And if I give off the energy that, oh, that would be nice, but I don't deserve it, I will never fucking have it.
Right.
Which is why I constantly live the life of it's already happened. Time just has to catch up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, everything else is a fucking debate. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not debating anything. I'm not having a gray area. It's like, this is done. It's finished. Scarlett's in private school. Jameson's in private school.
Done deal.
We have that fucking mansion. I have all the cars. Not for anyone other than for the fact that I just like fucking cars.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
And people will go, oh, he's shallow. Bro, fuck you.
Those are the people, bro, man, I'm glad you hit on that because those are the people that they're not willing to put in the work themselves. And so it's just easier to be like shallow, you know, whatever.
It's not always about money, Leighton.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Fuck
come on,
you.
bro. Yeah, exactly. Like it costs money to eat, it costs money to freaking sleep on that bed you want. It costs money for everything. So don't sit here and tell me it's not about money. Like it's, you know.
And then
whatever.
we go to restaurants and we fucking tip handsomely.
Yeah.
They go to restaurants and they stiff the waitress because they can't afford to eat.
Exactly.
It.
Yeah.
And we're the fucking problem?
Yeah.
Nah, man, you're the fucking problem.
Yeah.
You don't want to put in the work and actually fucking treat people nicely and respectfully and tip someone who deserves a good tip.
Yeah.
Dude, we went out for dinner date night the other day and I tipped the guy like $200. And he literally, I was walking out, he's like, taps me on the shoulder, he's like, thank you so much, you didn't have to do that. It's like, of course I had to do that, it's Christmas, bro. It's like our meal wasn't even $200 and I gave him $200 tip. It's not to flex, it's because it's fucking Christmas and I want him to have a good time. No one else in that fucking building tipped him $200 that night. But then I've also got assholes on Instagram going, it's not about the money. Byron, it's not about the fact that you drive a sports car.
Yeah.
It's not, you're fucking right.
Yeah.
I can leave people better than I found them in every situation and I can take a little bit of stress off that fucking waiter's shoulders. Because I don't know what kind of day he was having. I don't know what kind of life he lives at home. But the fact that he had to tap me on the shoulders and thank me so much for $200 fucking dollars means that he's not that fucking flush. And I did a pretty good thing. So I'm going to feel good about it.
Right.
Whether you think I'm flexing or not, I don't really care. I'm just grateful I'm in that position. But you know why I'm in that position, Leighton? Because I do shit that I don't want to do every fucking day. Because I want to live over here, where the grass is fucking greener. And I know that when I didn't do this shit, I lived in this shit. I slept in a car. I slept in an office. I was miserable. I was fat. I was depressed. I was fucking suicidal. All that shit. Now I do shit I don't want to do every day, and I'm fucking happy about it. It's fucked up.
Because you know what's coming after, though. That's
Right.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't, and then like life's not so hard. Like when life punches me in the dick, I'm like, oh, is that it? That's what you've got?
Yeah.
Okay, I did worse than that this morning in the gym. Shut the fuck
place.
up.
Yeah,
Get
that's
outta
the place
here.
you want to be for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So shit doesn't stress me out anymore. Or very, like I still have stress, obviously. But the shit that used to stress me out, I'm like, fucking, how weak were you to be stressed by that?
It's nothing.
That's Tuesday.
That's growth. Yeah,
It's
right?
Tuesday.
Exactly. It's nothing
Like,
now.
fuck it, dude. It's just fucking Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it takes like every single day just fucking sacrificing the shit you want now for the shit you want most. Because in the power that comes with that, to know that you can say no to shit that's instant gratification so that you can have fucking awesome shit a year from today, when tomorrow is not even promised. But I'm betting on fucking a decade from today. That's energy, dude.
There we go.
That's game changing.
There we go, man. That's the best. That's the outro right there, man. I'm telling you, we can cap it off right there, man. I'm hyped up.
Good.
I hope this wakes everybody up, man, because it's one of those things, man. We're going into the new year. Actually, I don't know when this episode's going to be put out, but let me just say it's coming out soon. And whether they hear it in the 1st of January or the end of January, it's still the new year right now
like February,
when they hear this. And so it's not too late, man. You can take this episode, apply what Byron just talked about, and you can freaking crush your year, man. You can dominate the year with that. There's
Absolutely.
some good stuff. Yeah.
And if you actually did this shit, you wouldn't even imagine the end of the year, because it's going to be completely different to what you could even think from where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to say it any differently. And I know that wasn't very eloquent, but it's about as good as it gets.
It doesn't have to be all the time.
Right. Because it's like you're going to be vibing differently. You're going to give off different energy. Your circle's going to be different. People around you are going to act differently. You're going to look different, feel different, behave different. Everything is just going to be fucking different.
Mm-hmm.
And good different, not bad different.
Right.
There is no bad from fucking doing shit you don't want to do every day.
Mm-hmm.
If it betters you. Like, I don't want to do meth every day, so I don't do meth every day.
Right.
Because it's not good for me. It doesn't further me in any of my fucking pursuits. But I also don't want to gym every day.
Yeah.
But I know that if I do, I'm going to get fucking further along in this game called life.
Yep. Facts. Love it, man.
So stop being a fucking punk. Stop giving into instant gratification and being a fucking pussy. Actually starve yourself of some of that shit and put in the work and invest in your future self. Like this whole deciding that, I have to be living in this moment right now and YOLO, it's fucking weak sauce. That's weak energy. It's why you are where you are. It's why you're miserable. It's why you're fucking not happy. It's why you're obese and fat and fucking miserable and all that other shit. It's because you're so desperate to have some kind of instant gratification in this fucking second that you're not prepared to invest the energy that it takes to give that off and invest it in a future self. The second you start doing that, that's where true growth comes from. So cut the shit. Stop looking for the now. Invest in the future. Do hard shit today, and your future self will thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. As always, thank you for joining me, my man.
Appreciate you, man.
Absolute pleasure having you. We'll catch you guys next time. Like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. We'll see you soon.